Hi again, and welcome to Pearl Magazine. The need for family and to be connected to family can run very deep. But among us, there are those who've lost contact with their parents early in life. For a few of these people, tracing those family members has become a lifelong pursuit. And for one man who hadn't seen his mother since he was 6 years old, reconnecting with his mom became a personal mission. Then, one day, after receiving a mysterious message, his story and his hopes took a heart-wrenching turn. Few of us know when or how our journey of life will end. But when that journey does eventually end, the final traces of a person's existence can often be found in a burial register book.
No one knows what will happen tomorrow. There is no sudden birth, but there can be sudden death. I write down hundreds of these records every day.
Name, date of birth, permanent address. They're all clues to the life a person had.
The cemetery witnesses have intricate links among people, such as the close friends the deceased once had here.
In one such register, the name of a woman was finally discovered, decades after she had disappeared.
I didn't realize how much I wished to see her until that moment, but I've lost that chance for good.
Sooner or later, everyone's name makes it onto a burial register.
I was waiting for Mom to come back and ask me to go home after she finishes shopping, but she never showed up.
37-year-old Isaac Lau hasn't seen his mother since he was 6. One of his last memories of her is being left behind by her at this footbridge in Chunwan.
As we were walking, she suddenly stopped and said she needed to buy something and asked me to wait for her here. But she went for a long time and never came back. I wasn't scared then. Luckily, I knew the way home. What surprised me most was it was my mom who opened the door. Her eyes looked empty. I didn't understand why she dumped me. Now I understand. It was her psychosis.
Later, Isaac's parents divorced. The mother was never mentioned again, and for 31 years she never appeared again. Isaac yearned to find her, but he was hesitant.
Sometimes when I think of it, I wonder if it's because I was not good enough that my mom wanted to leave me. I was really scared if I find her, she would turn me down again, and that she really abandoned me. I felt special today, especially the moment when I arrived and saw Tai Hing Estate. My mom used to be here. It gives me an indescribable feeling. I wanted to cry. I'm really satisfied now that I came to the place she came to before.
Isaac's father seldom talked about his mom, but one time, after persistent questions, his father revealed that the last time they met was in 2000, when he came to Tai Hing Estate to sign the divorce papers. His mother had since remarried. He once considered passing out leaflets to locate her, but gave up on the idea after considering he might not want to disturb her new life. But as time went on, he missed her even more.
唔好意思，想阻一阻你啊！我想睇下你有冇見過呢個人啊？因為我揾呢個人，我揾緊媽咪啊。佢2000年嗰時住喺度嘅，大興村。唔好意思啊，想問一問咧，你有冇見過相裏邊呢個女人啊？呢個我媽嚟嘅，呢個係我揾緊阿媽。唔係個印象冇印象。
Despite no leads about his mother, Isaac believed she was still alive. He established a family tracing page on social media. Then, one day, he received an anonymous message.
According to the information on your family tracing page, your mother's name, age, and address, I found someone buried in a Chinese permanent cemetery who was almost the same as her. Same name, almost same age, and was living near the place I mentioned. Of course, I hope it's not real. I think it would be better if I go and visit the cemetery.
你好啊，我想查一查一個靈位嘅資料嘅。係。先人叫咩名？伍玉霞。
Isaac did not want to believe the bad news. But he and his girlfriend Janice decided to try to verify the tip. In Hong Kong, all cemeteries document the burial information of the deceased. The document is known as a burial register book. Chinese permanent cemeteries started registering burial information in 1915. By checking the name of the deceased, it can be determined if the person is buried here. Staff member Ray Leung is searching the records for Isaac.
In just 1 minute, I already found 2 late persons with the same name. Our documents show in which cemetery they were buried and in which columbarium their ashes were stored. We also recorded the information of the person who contacted us, the name, phone number, address, etc.
She was born in 1962 or 1963, so she would be 58 or 59 years old this year if she was alive.
I found a columbarium number in 2002. This Myok Ha seems to be the one.
Despite having a verified number, Isaac still couldn't accept the bad news.
He said the name was exactly the same, the age was similar too. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think this is her. I never expected she passed away. I'm really a bit shocked. May I know more about it, like who dealt with the burial or her residential address?
Her address or relative's address are private information, so we can't tell you. But do you remember roughly which district she lived in?
I know it's Tai Hing Estate in Tuen Mun.
According to our records, the registered address was near that district. Someone surnamed Lai helped settle her.
In order to verify his mother's death, Isaac used information he obtained from the burial register book, including the date of death and the surname of the contact. He then conducted a day-by-day search of newspaper information in 2002, looking for any clue about his mother's passing. But none of the reports on traffic accidents or murders mentioned names similar to his mother. This news report from February 27, 2002, mentioned that a 64-year-old man named Lai was scammed out of funeral expenses. He couldn't afford a burial for his wife who passed away from diabetes complications. His wife's name was Myok Ha.
I'm still digesting the news. I believe this is her. Her name and other information. This should be her second husband. She passed away not long after they got married at a registry. She died from diabetes complications. I can't tell why, but once I saw the news content, I can't stop feeling sorry for her. I really feel sad. Feel sad. I feel unhappy and sad when I saw the news. I feel that I won't be able to see her again. I haven't seen her since I was 6 years old, and I only have very few memories of her. But I just realized that deep down, I'm still missing her.
The deceased can't be brought back to life, but a burial register book keeps alive a few fragments of lives lived. In this case, it helped provide a small measure of relief for the bereaved and even help them learn more about their late relatives.
I really want to meet my mother's second husband. I want to know more about my mom. If she mentioned me, I want to know what she experienced in life. I believe if she was still alive, she must talk about me a lot. I want to ask her husband if my mom mentioned me. I'm Isaac Lau, son of Ng Yuk Ha.
After the break, books can teach valuable lessons, especially the burial register book. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Burial Register Book and Grave Allocation Book can provide crucial information for people trying to trace lost family members. But that information can date back many decades. Experts say such ancestral clues can help shed light on Hong Kong's history, providing windows into Hong Kong society long ago. Joseph Ting, an honorary professor from the University of Hong Kong School of Chinese, has studied cemetery history for years. After learning that the Chinese Permanent Cemetery, or CPC, had recently restored the Burial Register Book and Grave Allocation Book, Ting has come to take a look. Reaching back more than 100 years, these old files contain stories that can't be found in official history documents. They serve as another source of Hong Kong history and provide a reflection of the lives of Chinese elites from many years ago.
Another file shows the permanent address of the deceased. I'm quite interested as well because I've been conceiving to create a map about where Hong Kong famous people used to live in the city. So we can see, for example, during the 1920s or 40s, which areas different residents used to live in, and their relationship and the linkage between them.
The fact that Chinese could be permanently buried in Hong Kong is evidence of improvements in their social status over the years. The CPC hopes people can learn more from the Burial Register Book and Grave Allocation Book.
The 18 Chinese elites strived to get a cemetery for Hong Kong Chinese. It also shows that these journeymen started to regard Hong Kong as their home. This history is really worth passing on. I didn't know their history either until I saw the documents.
Ray Leung is hosting Joseph Ting's visit. He used to help document these files before they were digitized. Ray says each time the bereaved came to them, the staff would record the headstone location, register the relative's name, address, and contacts, etc., so that they could be contacted in case of damage or relocation.
These are from earlier years. Usually I saw documents written down by ballpoint pen. I rarely came upon those from 100 years ago. As you can see, the first person buried in our cemetery was Ao Wang, who was buried in 1915 on the 22nd day of second lunar calendar month.
呢個咧葬喺度嘅時候咧係1915年啊，咁我哋睇到呢個華人永遠墳場嘅葬冊裏邊咧，呢個係第一個入葬呢個墳場嘅第一個人，咁所以會睇到咧就係比較特別啲嘅，都係歐德嘅媽媽啊。
Ao Tak was a Hong Kong entrepreneur. To pass down local history, Joseph Ting often guides people during visits to the cemetery.
落葬登記冊，
佢記錄咗啲咩啊？
記錄咗某一個人咧，佢係即係幾時葬喺呢一度咯，咁同有咩人經手啊？
以前即係其實完全冇諗過落葬。
I had no idea the burials would be documented. It's the first time I learned about this. There are many graves, and everyone is recorded. I find the documents really valuable. With such a long history, more than 100 years, it's still preserved. You can search this information. I'm really impressed.
To see them so curious and asking so many questions, they must be really interested. Staying curious is a must for history researchers. When we discover something new, we'll feel excited. That sense of satisfaction makes us want to explore even more.
I also wrote in these burial register books. It's been 20 years. When I see them now, it brings back old feelings.
Thanks to workers like Ray Leung, valuable and detailed records are preserved. But as he looks at the books, Ray says he remembers one particular incident.
I started this job in December 1998. A man said he didn't remember the specific location of his mother's memorial plaque. That's because when his mother passed away, a columbarium was not built yet, and he had to go back to Canada. A few years later, he came back from Canada to worship his mother, but his relatives forgot the number. So I tried my best to help him.
In the years before computers, Ray had to look up the actual burial register books to find the location according to the month and day of burial. This particular task was more difficult since the person couldn't remember his mother's exact day of burial.
We had almost 20 burial register books back then. According to the year he provided, I targeted my search on the books of that year and checked them one by one. I was afraid of missing something because after all I was searching manually with my eyes. I was really afraid of miscounting.
At last, Ray succeeded in finding the plaque. He even received a letter of appreciation from Canada.
When I saw the letter, I knew my effort paid off. Although writing the burial register book seemed boring, they are rewards. As long as you make the effort, you will find it located. Helping families find a deceased relative makes my work especially meaningful.
呢個好似好靚喎，呢個都係紫色靚啲嘅啫，都係。
The burial register book helped Isaac Lau find his long-lost biological mother. While he didn't have the chance to say goodbye when she passed away, Isaac hopes visiting her final resting place now will offer some closure.
I hope to put something nice in front of her plaque. At least she'll know that her son visited her.
即係佢個仔嚟過睇佢。抹下佢，我諗佢俾人分黑咗其實。
The last time Isaac saw his mother, he was just 6 years old. He has very few memories of her. When he saw the plaque, he realized her birthday had just passed.
30
While he could not celebrate his mother's birthday, Isaac says he can at least introduce her to his other loved one.
I brought my girlfriend to meet you. This is Janice. I think as a mother, if she knows I have grown up and bring my partner to see her, she will feel happy.
A place to visit a deceased loved one offers family members solace. Isaac says he can finally begin to heal, relieved that at least he knows where his mother has gone. Now, he can focus more on his own future in life.
That day, I went to visit your flat. When I saw the portrait, I knew it's you. Although the person on that photo is different from the photo taken when I was a child, I know it's you, my mother.
Although an actual reunion with his mother is no longer possible, Isaac and his girlfriend Janice are grateful that the burial register book helped them lift a huge stone inside of them.
At least we got an answer. If you don't look for it, it will remain a question mark. Now that we know where she is, at least we can talk to her, communicate through our mind.
When people are tracking their families, they usually expect them to still be alive. After a while, they'll give up. In my case, even though my mother was no longer alive, at least I found her memorial plaque with the help of the burial book. I can still have a place to commemorate her, convey my love to her. If time could be reversed, I would definitely look you up earlier. I want to say to you, Mother, I miss you, I love you.
That's our show for this week. Thanks for joining us. Next week, the Winter Games in Beijing are quickly approaching, and Pearl Magazine is checking in to see how Hong Kong athletes are preparing. See you then. Good night.